Hello and welcome to my Preptober video. We're going to do some things slightly differently here today because we've got a crazy challenge coming up for the month of November. I'm going to attempt to write 50,000 words in 1 month. Yep, we're doing that. And if there is any remote chance of me getting that done, because I have been Little Miss Inconsistent this year, we've got to do some serious planning and we've got to set myself up for success, and we're going to sort all of that out today in this video. If you're new here, hi, I am Marie Harper Wright. I'm a steamy romance author. You need to grab yourself your favourite drink, snuggle up and come be an author with me. And if you have missed the previous vlogs, you might want to go back and have a little look at the planning vlogs, because really that was part of Preptober. I just didn't really know it yet. But I managed to finish planning my book, the last book in my current series, in the month of November. So you can go back and catch up on all of those normal vlogs and behind the scenes of an author life, if you like, and then come back to this one where we get prepared for crazy November challenge. Honestly, what am I doing to myself? Now, if you are an author yourself, or if you're a reader and you love behind the scenes writer vlogs here on YouTube, you may have heard of the November challenge where you write 50,000 words in the month of November. It originally started off as something called NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, but that's sort of fizzled out slightly and there's a lot more challenges now. And so I'm going to actually be participating in Sarah Cannon's Rough Draft Challenge in November. The premise is the same. Write a lot of words. I'm going to choose 50,000 like the original goal in 1 month. But it's going to have lots of community. There's a cute little website with a graph and just focusing on that cozy productivity, not perfection, but progress. And I am all in, and I'm a little bit scared. I'm not going to lie, I'm scared. This is a big thing because, like I said, I have not been consistent this year, but this is where we're going to set ourselves up for success. We're going to plan everything out, and you are going to come along with me as my emotional support YouTube friends. Sorry, that was obligatory. There's no sign up. That's what you are now. Sorry, not sorry. 50,000 words in 30 days. I've mathed this off camera because if you've watched my other vlogs, you'll know that sometimes my on-the-spot maths just doesn't go to plan. That equates to a daily word goal that I have to write of 1,667 words every day. Over a weekly goal of 12,500 words. Yep, slightly terrifying. That is really scary when, like I say, I have not been consistent this year. Like, not even remotely consistent at any point in time. Maybe a week. I'll say there might have been 1 week in the year where I was consistent. So starting off this book with this big of a goal is slightly crazy. I'm going to own up to it. But the thought of finishing this book, the last one in my current series, not in November because this word count for this book is going to be a lot bigger than 50,000. But if I can get 50,000 words in November, there is a very real chance of me finishing this book and this series by the year end, which is so tempting. So tempting, because that means I could start a new series in January. Hello? Yes, please. I cannot wait for my next series. I cannot wait. And this is potentially me being able to do that. And ending the year on a high, because let's be honest, this year has been a little bit poop. Has it been poop for you? Because I know a lot of people that this has been a poop year. Not even necessarily for some reasons. Like, yes, there is definitely some people that are going through specific poop. But then there's a lot of other people who there's just an underlying feeling of crud. Try not to swear. I swear a lot. Try not to swear on YouTube. And so it would feel really nice to end this year on a high and to feel like I succeeded. And when some things went a little bit off plan, that I retrieved this year and won it. It is so tempting. So that is the energy that we are going into November with, that it is going to be terrifying and it is going to be hard. And I'm going to want to give up on multiple occasions, but we're going to do it anyway. Yes? Okay, yep, we're going to do it. So the whole goal of this November challenge, so Rough Draft Challenge, NaNoWriMo, any of the other ones, the whole point of this is progress and consistency. It's not about getting the perfect words on the page. It's not about having the perfect finished product. It's just about moving forward. It's going to be difficult, but I know I can do it. I can, and I will do it. I'm going to speak it into existence. I will get it done. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to write this full book in the month of November because it's just too big. The word count is going to be more like creeping on to 90,000 words. That would just not happen. I'm not a full-time writer. If I was a full-time writer, maybe. I'm not going for that goal. I'm going to do a stretch goal that's going to be hard to achieve, but that I know that I could realistically do with hard work, dedication. And I have already done a 50,000 November month before. I can't remember when. I'm going to say 2 to 3 years ago. So I know I can do it and I'm going to set myself up for success. So what am I actually working on? Last book in this series, book number 6. And if you haven't watched my previous vlogs, they're on planning this book. So it was sort of part of Preptober. And I didn't really know it when I filmed those vlogs, but you can go back and watch those if you are interested in what the actual project is about. But like I said, I'm a romance author. So this is a romance book, last standalone book in this series. And I'm really excited. This is the book that I did not want to write. When I started this series, I had no idea what this book was going to be about. And then all of a sudden, I think at the start of 2025, it clicked what this book was going to be about. And I am very excited. With all of the planning that I've done, this is going to be good. This is a good end to the series. If you've seen my previous vlog, you'll see that I completely threw out my planning process. I actually created scene cards for myself, which is the first time ever. And I loved it. But these are all of my scenes. I numbered the scenes in the chapters. I've got 29 chapters now. If we do an estimate of 3,000 words a chapter, then I'm expecting this to just land at about 87,000 words. So that's why I was saying we're not going to be writing that in November. But it does mean that there's a very real possibility that if I write 50,000 in November, that I can get this finished by the year end. Really, I'd like to get it done by Christmas. Doable. Scary, but doable. The issue is, though, how long has it taken me to do my other books? Well, I went back, because I know all of this down, and I went back and found that information out for you because I knew you was going to ask that question. I started writing this series in January 2024. 2 years to write. 2 years to write 6 books. And actually, it was like 6.5 because there was a prequel that I give away for free. It's 3 books in a year. I feel like I was probably planning on 4, but you know, life gets in the way. I tried to have the month of August off so that I can be around for my 2 boys during their summer holidays. Actually, if I look at that realistically, that's really blooming good. That is really blooming good for not writing full time. I need to own that and be like, that's great. You should be celebrating that and not thinking that's rubbish. I know that I can write a book in 2 months, and I have. I have written books in 2 months, but the last book took me 5 months to write. I was not consistent. I think there was about 2 full months where I just didn't do anything on those books. And yeah, that can't happen if I'm going to achieve this goal. So that's where I'm coming in feeling quite scared and apprehensive because I've not been consistent. It's not like I've been hitting 1,000 words a day like I'd like anyway. And so it's a push, but it's a doable push. It's not like I've even been hitting like 7,000 every week. Or a 10, like I'd love 10,000. Like 10,000 is doable for me every week. It's not like I've even been doing that. And obviously I've taken the month of October out to plan. So it's not even like I'm writing now and that I'm in that frame of mind. So it's going to be a challenge. And speaking of challenges, we have a lot. On top of the fact that, you know, I'm starting from scratch. I'm also releasing a book in November. Just great timing there. Now, this was already planned, set up for pre-order before I even decided to do this 30-day writing challenge. So it's not movable. It is something that is going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. It's releasing in the middle of the month. That means that I'm going to have to, I have to do stuff to make sure that that releases. I have just gotten back the final edits for the book from my proofreader. Theoretically, it should just be a case of going, oh yeah, I didn't put that comma there, accept that. It should be quick. There shouldn't be any rewrites, and she hasn't messaged me to be like, what are you doing? There's going to be rewrites here, like, or there's a lot of work involved. Haven't even opened up the document yet to even check that. I'm going to have to finalize those last edits. I'm going to have to format the book. I'm going to have to get it sent to ARC readers. I'm going to have to get it loaded on to Amazon. Got to tell people about it. This is the thing, you do all of this work and that's just not even the hard part. The hard part is telling everybody about it and making them care. So that's going to be fun and something I have to do. That does take priority over the writing challenge. And also, I started YouTube. This is like something like my 4th video. So this is really new to me. Now, I love YouTube. My husband and I basically watch YouTube like telly, like every evening. And I finally started YouTube. Hi. And editing does take me a lot longer, and I think that's just because it's a new process and it will get more streamlined. That's a big consideration because I would like to document this writing challenge and post videos about it. So on top of releasing a book, writing, I also have to film the writing process. I also have to edit the writing process and get it uploaded to YouTube. And also, just let's be real honest here. I'm very motivated to do this now. How long's that going to last, huh? Huh? Little Miss Inconsistent? How long is that going to last? Hopefully the whole of the month, but let's be realistic. It's not going to. There are going to be downs, and they are going to be really, really down. And I know this from the previous challenge that I participated in. It is hard. And the longer that it goes on, the harder that it gets, especially if you're behind. If you have not hit your daily goals and you now have to catch up, it's difficult. That motivation, life is going to get in the way. Illness will probably get in the way. Like, I've got 2 boys that go to school. They're probably, jinxing myself, let's touch wood, they're probably going to get unwell. There's going to be times where I just cannot be bothered. I'm going to be low energy and I just cannot be bothered and thinking, why do I want to do this? Let's just give up, shall we? So that's going to be probably second day? No, probably from day 10 onwards, we'll notice this little dip of energy and enthusiasm. It's going to be a challenge, and I'm going to be juggling, and life's going to get in the way, and I've got to find some ways to keep on this, to make this happen. So that leads me into setting myself up for success. If we're going to do this with these challenges, I have to set myself up for success. I have some things that I can do to make this easier to achieve these daily word count goals. I want to write daily. I have to write daily. I have to be making sure that even if I do not get that 1,600 words every day, that I made some progress. And so that when I can spend some more time writing, so weekends or on my author days, I can then bump up the word goal and catch up a little bit. But if I'm not doing it daily, it doesn't become a habit. If I'm not doing it daily, writing is just naturally harder because you're picking it up and dropping it, picking it up and dropping it. If I'm doing it every day, it becomes more consistent, becomes more of this thing that the train is not stopping and the story's flowing out of me. So that's the goal. I used to be able to do a lot of nighttime writing and write in the evening, even when it was just on my phone. Like, I'd write a lot on my phone. I can't do that now. My brain just shuts down, and I'm thinking morning sessions may be better. Do I need to wake up an hour earlier, caffeinate earlier to get some writing done? It's in my wheelhouse of I can possibly do that. I really like my bed and I really like sleep. So I'm going to struggle with the drive to want to do that, but I can do it. And there'll be times where I probably will do that. and I might have to just for the month of November say that's just what I'm doing, sacrificing to get the goal done. And so, like I've said, I've got the daily word count and I've got the weekly word count, because I know that if I can get 1,600 words done every day, then I've done it. The issue is that sometimes the energy is not there, the story's not there, it's just not flowing. There's just some hidden resistance, not even necessarily sure why, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And so that's why I'm also going to be tracking a weekly word count to just make sure that actually maybe I didn't do the full words yesterday, but then I did more today. And so I'm on track still. So I'm going to do a lot of tracking, and there's some things that I've got to help me with that and to make it fun and exciting and to keep that momentum going. I'm also going to be planning in advance. So I've done all of the planning, vlogs, got my card set up, but there are some scenes that aren't as fully fleshed out. I am going to make sure that the next few scenes are thought about so that when I come down to sit and to write, I know what I'm writing and I'm just going to write. And then, like I mentioned, I used to do loads of writing on my phone because it just was so convenient. I've always got my phone with me. And honestly, I've written probably 80% of my books on my phone. The issue is it takes a lot longer. So it's more easily accessible, but it is a lot longer. So I need to be writing on my laptop or on the iPad where I've got a connected keyboard a lot more. So that's my dedication to doing that and just getting, when I do have time, the most productive method of getting these words down. I have been doing some writing sprints just to track how many words I can expect to get in a set amount of time. And so the aim here is just small amount of chunks. I haven't done writing sprints for a long time because I prefer just to write until the time, like I don't have any more time to write, or until the inspiration leaves me, or until I've finished the chapter or anything like that. But I do think writing sprints is going to be quite handy here. So I've been doing some writing sprints just to see how many words can I get in a writing sprint. So I did 30 minutes of writing and I got 1,000 words, which was really shocking to me. I did not expect it to be anywhere near that. I was thinking 500 to 700 words for 30 minutes. And I was thinking it's going to be slow because I haven't been writing and it's the start of a new book. So I sort of got to get into it. So I was really surprised with that. Now, am I going to get 1,000 words every 30 minutes that I sit down to write? No, that's not a realistic thought. But it is a good benchmark that I need for the writing sessions to get it done. Nice. 25 hours of writing. Does that maths? Editor Marie can check that one. And so to enable to do that, I do need to be on my laptop. I do need to be making sure that I know what I'm writing. I don't have to think. There's no thinking time in there. It's just, this is the next bit. Maybe if I do end up in the middle of a scene, I am making notes for myself. So you'd have seen in my first vlog where I finished writing my last book that I just do sometimes just stop writing in the middle of a scene. But with writing sprints, that's gonna happen. So what I need to do is make myself some notes in the document of where was I going with this? What did I want to happen so that I can then continue and hit the ground running? That's the theory anyway. And I'm going to be doing some journaling and some tracking to keep that momentum and that enthusiasm. I bought myself a new journal. I did some journaling and setting up for the month of November. And I'm really excited to just make that pretty, track down what I'm doing. I'm really happy. I've never done like journaling before and I'm really happy with what I've created. So that's going to keep some momentum going as well. And I'm going to make it fun. This is the next bit for setting myself up for success. I'm going to make it fun. So journaling, yeah, fun. Put all my stickers in there, make it look as cute as I possibly can. Making it fun is one of those things that I didn't necessarily do when I did the challenge before. I can't remember whether I've done the challenge 1 or 2 times. I might have done it in an April at some point. I didn't really try to make it fun. And I think that will help in actually achieving this and not burning out and not being miserable. Like I could 100% push myself through and do 50,000 words and be miserable. I don't want to be miserable. I want to write 50,000 words and have fun and feel accomplished and feel like I'm creating something that is awesome and not something that I'm having to literally drag out of me. So that's a really big part of this. I want to be having fun and I want this to flow and to feel like I have to get this book out there because people need this in their lives. People need this a little bit of escape in their lives and I want to provide that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reward myself. Honestly, I've never done this before. I don't think I've even considered it. But for every 10,000 words that I'm going to write, I'm going to give myself a little present. Now, I went to Comic-Con with my husband and our 2 boys, and I was on the hunt for things that might be cute to have as a little gift for every 10,000 words. So I did find something. I have ordered myself something else. I've got some few ideas. So I want 5 rewards because I'm writing 50,000 words. So I've got 3 sorted out now. So I just need 2 more, which I've got ideas for, but I'm going to prepare all of that. And I've got in my journal a tracker of when I hit those rewards. That will be all on the vlogs. And I think I'm going to get a lot of motivation and gratification just from tracking all of this, like filling out my journals, tracking it online with the rough draft challenge graph and seeing that graph. I think that's going to give me a lot of joy and momentum as well. So I'm excited to do that. Really, this is all just to try to combat that mid-month to end of month slump where energy's low, motivation's low, and you're just thinking about giving up. Fingers crossed it actually works. But let's be realistic here. There's the whole mindset behind this. I can reward myself as much as I like if I'm not sitting down and getting the words done. It doesn't matter what I give myself. It doesn't matter what is sitting there to be opened because I'm never going to open it. I know it's going to start off high vibe, amazing energy, hitting word counts. And then I know it's going to slump and I know it's going to feel difficult. And I know there's going to be, why am I even doing this to myself? I can't be bothered. And also life can just get in the way. Like there will be some things that happen that are completely out of my control that I haven't planned for, that I'm going to have to deal with. And I'm going to have to make hard decisions of how I tackle that to keep on this goal. I hope nothing happens where then I have to completely drop the challenge and give up on it. But we just never know. And I'm going to have to adapt as we go. So it's going to be an ever-changing thing. And like I said, even if I don't get the daily word count hit, I would like to do daily writing. And I have a bit in my journal to track, did I write every day? And I'm going to tick it off so that I can actually see there was progress every day. And I hope that I can actually achieve that, even if it's writing for 5 minutes or writing for 2-3 hours. And so I just want to reiterate to myself, to any other writers out there who are thinking of participating in their own 30-day challenge, this is all about consistency and progress moving forward, not about perfect words and the perfect draft. I might have to write that down somewhere because I think that's going to be key to remember. So what am I doing to keep track of this? Well, I've sort of mentioned it, but just to summarise, I've got my journal here, so I'm going to be doing my monthly overview. I'm going to do weekly overviews, checking in daily. And I've also got the Rough Draft Challenge website where I'm going to have a graph. So excited for that. So I need to sign up for that, get that all set up so I can track this and hit the ground running from the 1st of November. And so, yeah, I am daunted. There is no denying it, but I'm also hopeful that with all of this work, with all of the experience and everything that I've learned on my writing journey so far, that this is actually achievable and that I can do this. It's not going to be easy, but I can succeed in this writing challenge, and I'm hopeful for that. And the prospect of finishing this series by the end of the year with most of the book written in November is exciting. I'm really, really excited. So I need to keep that in mind, keep that focus, keep that drive, keep tracking, keep going. I can do it. I'm excited, nervous, bubbling excitement. And obviously I've done a lot of the Preptober work already because I've planned the book. It's ready, it's sitting ready to go. I've already started doing a few little writing sprints on it to test that word count of what I can expect per writing sprint. So I'm hoping by the 1st of November that I'll actually have a few thousand words already sitting in the document so that I can hit the ground running a little bit more. Obviously, I'm not going to count those words in the November challenge. And the next vlog is going to be the writing challenge. We're going to start on the 1st of November. I'm going to record as much of it as I possibly can and update you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the future vlogs. It really helps me out as well as I'm growing this new little channel. And let me know if you are a writer. Are you participating in any writing challenges in November? Are you doing NaNoWriMo? Are you doing the Rough Draft Challenge with me? Are you doing your own little thing? I'd love to know. And if you're a reader, are you excited to follow along behind the scenes? So that's everything for this Preptober vlog. I'm going to see you in November. We're going to do this. We're going to do it together. Happy reading. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you soon.